Hey, what's up guys? Little man with a big opinion here. Today's video, I'm going to talk about spices and why you should definitely have them as part of your preps. And, let's just hop right into it. If you like these kind of videos, hit the subscribe button, like the video, share it with your friends and family, and do all those good things. This is a pound of plain salt. It was 67 cents at Walmart today when I got it. For that price, I think it's perfectly fine if you're going to nickel and dime it. But you can also get it in a 5 pound bag, and at Sam's and those kind of stores, you can get it in a 10 pound bag. I don't think I've seen it in anything larger than that. I would definitely put it in a different container because this is like a cardboard container that if it gets any type of moisture, then it's going to turn into one giant rock, and you don't want that. Its purposes are endless. Just think about every single food dish that you can think of that would taste 100 times better if it had a little bit of salt on it. You can preserve a endless number of things. I thought it was one of the coolest things in the world when I had shot a deer 8th grade, 9th grade. We really didn't have the stuff to preserve it, but my dad said, "Oh, just go out there and pour a bunch of salt on it, and we can get the stuff later." And that hide stayed ready to go because we kind of forgot about it. It was left in our old chicken coop on a table, and like 8 months later, it was still in the same position same stage that we could then go back and get it ready to go. The rest of the stuff I'm going to kind of throw in this side note. I've had cheap whiskeys. I strongly remember getting a black velvet that was in a plastic bottle, and it was like $8. I don't know what it is now. I don't purchase it. This isn't the most expensive thing. I think it was like $30 for the bottle. It tastes pretty good. The Sazerac rye. But I bring up getting that cheap whiskey for $8 because it's only about 50 cents more expensive than getting whole cinnamon sticks. The garlic salt was a couple of dollars. The whole clove, a couple of dollars. And in the same category as the cinnamon sticks, 6 ounces of ground black pepper was like $5.80 at my Walmart. And, they're considered some of the most popular condiments for a reason. But salt and pepper should be in everyone's preps. It doesn't matter in what stage of prepping you're at. Having seasoning is super important, and those are going to be like your two mainstays. Then you spend the time getting all of the other different things. That way you've got a nice variety. But seasoning is not cheap. You could spend $100 on seasoning and still not have every different variant. And, that's including things like sugar and flour and, some of the seasoning is part of that meal, and some of it should be making regular meals, more enjoyable. Because, I'll bring this back out, the salt and pepper. There's a lot of ways that, your spaghettis, your chilies, your rice and beans, any of the different meat options. Like, I've had squirrel. I've had it plain before, just to try it. And then on every other camping trip that, we do one of those survival kind of camping trips, it is very important to bring the seasoning. Um, I put it out in our shed, but I really like you go to the camping section and it's about this big around, but only about half of this, and it's like 9 different seasoning options in one container. The other thing I've seen people do is they save all of the different things from all the different restaurants that they go to. So this one's McDonald's. This is barbecue sauce. You save your ranch from Whataburger, or you save this powder from this place, and you just kind of gather that up, and you get a nice little condiment container going. This is going to serve several purposes. It is going to make surviving whatever crappy situation better, because bland food will get boring very, very quickly. It's also, think about every other person out there. Bland food gets bored very, very quickly. At one point in history, salt was payment for the Romans. Uh, Salt doesn't just make your food taste better, it can preserve so many different things. And so, out of all of the options on here, like, I think I'm getting close to 30 pounds of salt. And it's one of those things that, like I was saying, 67 cents. Every time you go to the grocery store, you can put that on the list. If you have a prepping budget that's, $50 a month, it's real easy to put that on the list. If you don't have any idea what you should be adding to your preps, it's a really good one to just put on your list and constantly add to it. I'd say once you hit 10 pounds of salt, then go for other things. But what I would also say is, if you have meals that you cook all the time, that's probably what you're going to want to stock up for, so that you can stay as close to normal as possible. If you make a meal that requires curry, you should probably have a good stockpile of curry. If you have a specific way that you season your steaks, you should have that seasoning on tap. Because for most people, a lot of these seasonings, you're not just going to be able to go out and, find them in the wild. You're probably going to have, some sort of garden where you've started growing this kind of stuff. Because in our modern world, that's half the reason why everyone was going to India and China, was for all the spice trading. If our system today collapses, there goes all of those different variants that you can have rice and beans, and if you have 20 different seasonings, you probably have 100 different combinations on how you can make that meal a little bit different, so it's not so mundane. Again, even if you're buying cloves, most seasonings, the way that they are dried, they're going to last darn near forever. They have found salt that was stored in pots in the Egyptian temples that is perfectly fine. They have found ground black pepper, not powder, that is several hundred years old, completely fine. I find it really funny, the Himalayan pink salt. They put a 2-year expiration date on it, and then they sit here and tell you that it formed over 5 million years or whatever like that. So, Your last little bit would be, like, even for the pepper, it's in a metal tin, the lid's plastic. If you're going to store this long term, and it even says store in cool, dry place. So for all of this, cool, dry place, I would put this kind of stuff inside of a Mylar bag or a mason jar. Throw in an oxygen absorber or freeze it. Just make sure everything's dead, whether it can't get oxygen to ruin your stuff or you froze it to death. Restore it in a different container. That just prolongs its life. Um, these ones I say would be fine. They're glass with a tin metal lid. But like this one, it's all plastic. They're saying this is good for 3 years. I definitely push it longer than that. But what's going to fail you here is the plastic container before the seasoning itself. So, with all that being said, if you have anything else you'd like to add, leave in the comment section down below. Hit the subscribe button, like the video, and share it with your friends and family. And with that, I'll catch you in the next one.